Good morning, children. Today we will be learning a little more about acids and bases. Acids are sour to taste. Bases, they are little bitter, astringent, they are slippery. Can you name some of the basic things that you use in your daily life? We have toothpaste, shampoo, soap. Even our blood is little basic in nature. Some of the acidic things that we use in our daily life: lime, tomato, tamarind, vinegar, buttermilk, curd. Which acid tomato has? We have learned all this last year. It's just a revision. Tomato has oxalic acid, tamarind, tartaric acid, curd, lactic acid, vinegar is acetic acid. These are natural acids. Now, in a laboratory also we have some of the acids. Do you recall them? What are their names? We have learned about hydrochloric acid. What is the chemical formula of hydrochloric acid? HCl. Then we have bromic acid. HBr. Nitric acid, HNO3. A famous sulfuric acid, H2SO4. We also have learned about some of the bases. Which are the bases? We have sodium hydroxide, NaOH, potassium hydroxide, KOH, calcium hydroxide, CaOH twice. We also have magnesium hydroxide, MgOH twice. NaOH, sodium hydroxide, another name for it is washing soap, washing soda. Okay. Potassium hydroxide is used in shampoo. Calcium hydroxide, this is known as lime. Lime in chemistry. Remember that lime water we prepared? Calcium hydroxide solution, whitish in nature, whitish color. Okay. Magnesium hydroxide is milk of magnesia. This is usually used as a antacid. When do we use antacid? One of this acid is present in our stomach. Do you remember which one? Hydrochloric acid, to help the digestion. When that acid amount is too much in our body, become acidic, then doctors suggest to take antacid. And that is, the composition of antacid is magnesium hydroxide, that is milk of magnesia. Okay. Now, when you look at these acids, what is common in all this? We can see that hydrogen is common in all this. What about bases? What is common? In bases we have that OH as common. Okay. Now, in the last chapter we have learned that when we write a chemical name, when we write a compound's name, we always write the cation, the basic radical first. What is cation and basic radical? That is the positive ion. Then we write the anion, that is the negative ion, which is also known as acidic radical. So when we look at this is positive, this will be negative. This is the basic radical and this is the acidic radical. This is the cation and this is the anion. Cation and anion. So if you look at all these acids, you can see which is the cation over there. Hydrogen ion is the cation. Only cation. Hydrogen ion is the only cation. Then these substances are called as acids. So what are acids? Acids are substances which have hydrogen ion as the only cation. Things can be acidic, but if it has to be acid, then it has to have H plus as the only cation, or H plus as the only basic radical. Now you catch from that word H plus as the only basic radical, then we call them as acid. Okay. H plus is the only basic radical, then we call them as acids. Now look over here. What is common in all this? As we said, this is cation, this is will be anion, basic radical, acidic radical, cation, anion, positive ion and negative ion. So if you look at all these substances, all these compounds, you know that OH is the only anion. OH is the only acidic radical. So substances which have OH, that is the hydroxide group, as the only anion or only acidic radical, then we call them as bases. Okay. Things can be basic, but if it has to be base, then it should contain OH as the only acidic radical. If OH is the only acidic radical, then we call them as base. If H plus is the only basic radical, then we call them as acids. This is clear to everyone? Okay. Now when you look at it, you know that suppose we take H2SO4. Okay. What does this 2 tells you over here? All the others are all H. Here H2SO4. What does this 2, the two things that the 2 tells us? Which are the two things? First, there are 2 hydrogen atoms in this. In sulfuric acid, 1 molecule of sulfuric acid, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. Secondly, the valency of SO4. Valency of SO4 is 2 minus. Valency of SO4, that group, sulfate group is 2 minus. Now when you look at this HBr, what does this? If nothing is written, it is 1. Okay, that means only 1 hydrogen atom, and the valency of bromine is 1. Similarly here, 1 only. If nothing is written, then it is 1. What does this 1 tell you? There is only 1 bromine atom in 1 molecule of bromic acid, and also the valency of hydrogen is 1. So how do you write the valency? Can you tell me what is the valency of nitrate? This is a group. Nitrate is a group. What is the valency? 1 is written. Sorry, hydrogen 1. So valency of nitrate is 1. You remember that valencies are interchanged. That is what we have learned previously. How to write the valency, how to write the compound name. Okay. Okay. Now when you come to calcium hydroxide, can you tell me by looking at it, what is the valency of calcium? The valency of calcium is 2. Valency of calcium is 2 because 2 is written over here. So valency of calcium is 2. That is why it will become 2 minus over there. Okay. On page number 58, you have a table given over there. You have it over there. Name of the compound, molecular formula, some of it is already I told you, remaining you can find. Basic radical, you know which are the basic radical? When we write the compound name, the first one is basic, positive, then only we write the negative. Acidic radical, type of the compound, that is whether it is acid, base, and now we have one more type added over here, that is salt. Now what is salt? The moment we hear salt, what comes to our mind? Table salt, sodium chloride, NaCl. You are right, NaCl, that is sodium chloride, is a salt. Is a salt, not the only salt. Okay. How do we get salt? Why do we call this as salt? In NaCl, Na is the positive or basic radical, Cl is the acidic radical. Basic radical, acidic radical. So substances or compound which have basic radical other than H plus and acidic radical other than OH minus, call them as salt. I repeat, what is an acid? How do we define acid? Acids are substances which have H plus as the only basic radical. H plus as the only basic radical. What are bases? Bases are those substances which have OH as the only acidic radical. So substances which have basic radical other than H plus and acidic radical other than OH minus are called salt. Now what is the basic radical? Na plus other than H plus. Acidic radical Cl minus other than OH minus. So this is a salt. So when you read the molecular formula of a compound, you should be able to identify whether they are acids, base or salt. Previously we have already learned how to test for acids and bases. Do you remember? You are tested with a litmus paper. There are two types of litmus papers, blue and red. Acids turn blue litmus into red. Bases turn red litmus into blue. Let us check. When you take a compound, okay, I have hydrochloric acid over here. Okay, now when you take a compound and if you check with both the litmus papers, that is blue, I have a blue litmus paper over here, I am testing and checking. You can see that blue litmus turned pinkish, or we call it as reddish. Okay, why? Because what I have in my hand is acid. What happened to bases? Bases turn, I have a pink litmus paper. Bases turn pink into blue. You can see that. This is how we test for acids and bases. So when a compound is given to you and two litmus papers are provided, that is blue and pink, you test with both. Okay, you first test with blue, check if the color change is there. If not, keep it back. Take the pink one, check for the color change. If there is no color change by using both the litmus papers, then what will be a conclusion? Then the given thing is substance is a salt, not acid, not base. So it will be a salt. Okay, but you can conclude it only by checking out with both the litmus papers. I suppose this much is clear to everyone. What is acid? How do we test them? Bases, how do we test them? And what are salts? Okay. From where do we make this litmus paper? We have learned that last year. How do we make that? We have learned how to make a litmus paper using a hibiscus flower, rose petals. You can try it. Make litmus paper at home. Take a filter paper, take the hibiscus flowers, petals or rose petals, rub it on it, the color changes. And use that litmus paper to test the various substances that you use daily. Coffee, toothpaste, shampoo. Test and see whether it is acidic or basic. It will be a good activity for you. Try it out. Okay. Let us see about the ionic compounds. What are ionic compounds? Compounds that is formed by give and take of electrons. Compounds that is formed by the give and take of electrons by the atoms. Okay. For example, NaCl. Remember the atomic number of Na? What is Na? Sodium. What is the atomic number of Na? Na is 11. So what is the electronic configuration? 281. Is sodium atom stable? No. Why? Because the outermost orbit is not complete. You can see it over here. This is a sodium atom. Electronic configuration is 281. First orbit, first shell got 2 electrons, second one got 8 and the third one got only 1. It is not stable. It is just waiting to give away and become stable. And become partner with chlorine. Why? Look at chlorine's What is atomic number of chlorine? 17. Electronic configuration 287. How many electrons are in the outermost orbit? 7. Is it stable? No. This also is not stable. It requires just one more to become stable. So chlorine is in search for that one electron to become stable, whereas sodium is in search of giving out one electron to become stable. So they combine together. When they come together, in the chemical reaction, we get this plus this, we get sodium chloride. Now in sodium chloride, if you look at it, sodium has given out this one electron from sodium is given to chlorine. So sodium will have, in sodium chloride, sodium will have only 2 shells. The third shell, 1 electron is given to chlorine, and chlorine will have 288. So the octet is complete in both the atoms. Therefore, they become more stable. There is a force, you know that when sodium gives away, it gets a positive charge because one electron is gone away. So the positive charge is more, so one positive charge will be more. What happened to in chlorine? Negative charge is more. So sodium become positive and chlorine become negative because it's taken one more electron from sodium. Now there is a force of attraction, this positive and negative, and that force of attraction is very strong, forming an ionic bond, and therefore we call these compounds as ionic compounds, and ionic compounds are very stable. When we consider NaCl, this is one molecule of that compound. This is stable and it is electrically neutral. Why? Because this one's 1 plus charge is cancelled by this one's 1 minus charge. So electrically they are neutral. Okay. When you consider it, you have sodium as plus over there, chlorine and minus. Outermost orbits are, octet is complete. They have a strong force of attraction forming an ionic bond. Therefore they are called as ionic compounds. Okay. In ionic compound, there is a force of attraction between the opposite charges, positive and negative, and they are very, very stable. Similarly, even if you consider water, we have H2O, H plus and O minus, hydrogen and oxygen. So that compound is very, very strong, okay, because hydrogen and oxygen share the electrons, accept the electrons, and their octets will become complete. Therefore, that bond is very strong. Is it clear to everyone? You have to learn how to draw the diagram. For your easiness to draw, you put two electrons together. It is not that they are paired over there, okay? This is for you to understand better. Otherwise, if you spread the electron, then you have to go on counting. Sometimes you miss the count, okay? So if you put it together, it is easy for you to count. Page number 59, diagram 5.1, please mark it. You have to learn how to draw the diagram, okay? Now we go for dissociation of ionic compound. What do you mean by dissociation of ionic compound? What are ionic compounds? Compounds formed by give and take of electrons. That is when they form a force of attraction. Ionic bond is formed between the two atoms. Okay. Now, what do you mean by dissociation of ionic compound? Now, we are talking about this ionic compound, NaCl. All of you have seen NaCl, table salt. It is just like grainy type. Okay. Solid form. Okay. In NaCl, the table salt, normally it is in the solid form. The NaCl atoms will be sitting like this close to each other. And when you put water into it, what happens to it? Let us see. In solid form, normal NaCl is sitting like this. When you put water into it, okay, what happens to it? It will get separated like NaCl, NaCl, okay, it gets separated, it becomes Na plus and Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, means it gets dissociated. the one which was sticking to each other, when we pour water into it, it forms an aqueous solution. It forms an aqueous solution. How do you write it for aqueous solution? Small aq is written for aqueous solution. Now what do you mean by aqueous solution? Substance dissolved in water. Okay, if the substance, that the solvent is water, then we call it as an aqueous solution. If the solvent is water, then we call it as an aqueous solution. It is different from liquid. Okay, liquid is a state of matter, like solid, liquid and gaseous. They are state of matter. Aqueous, where the solvent is water. Okay, so this NaCl, when we pour water into it, it dissociates. Okay, water separated into Na plus and Cl minus. So this, suppose this is full of NaCl over here, and when you mix it with water, all will turn out to be like this, Na plus and Cl minus. So this aqueous solution will be containing plus and minus ion. Okay. Now, some substances dissociate completely. Some do not dissociate completely. They may dissociate very little and remaining solute remain like this only without dissociating. Some part of it may get dissociated. There are some compound they dissociate completely, means entire NaCl will become Na plus and Cl minus, dissociating completely. Okay, depending upon this dissociation, Swedish scientist Arrhenius gave us the definition for acids and bases. Now, according to him, what is acid? Acid is a substance which, on dissolving in water, gives H plus as the only cation. Remember what we saw about acid? When do we call them as acid? If H plus is the only cation. So he says that substance which on dissolving in water give, that is the aqueous solution. So dissolving in water gives H plus as the only cation. And he says base is a substance which on dissolving in water gives OH as the only acidic radical. This is Arrhenius' definitions for acids and bases. Both are same. Only thing here what he said is that when it is dissolving in water, that is the only addition he has given. You remember acids which give only H plus as the basic radical or the cation. Base OH is the only anion or acidic radical. Now Arrhenius told us that acids are substance which on dissolving in water gives H plus as the only cation, whereas base gives OH as the only acidic radical or only the anion. Okay, let us look at it how when they dissolve in water, what happens. Now when we have hydrochloric acid is usually in gaseous state. Okay, in water, that is in dissociation in water, we get H plus aqueous plus Cl minus, which is also aqueous. Okay, this is clear to you. AQ stands for aqueous. On dissociation, hydrochloric acid. Similarly, so you have here, on dissolving in water, it gives only H plus as the only cation, then we call them as acid. Similarly, H2SO4. Okay, H2SO4, dissociation in water gives H plus SO4 2 minus. Okay, H plus is the only cation. Again, this is aqueous state. This is the aqueous state. You can consider the same way for base also. NaOH. in dissociation in water, what do we get over here? Na plus OH minus. So OH is the only acidic or anion. Then we call them as acids and bases. I suppose this is clear to everyone. What is acid, bases, how the ionic compounds are formed, dissociation of ionic compounds. According to Arrhenius, what is acids, bases, and what is aqueous solution. The difference in aqueous solution and liquid. I suppose this much is clear to everyone. Please read the textbook. In page number 60, there are some boxes given to you. Some fill-ups are there. Please fill that. Okay. So in the next class, we shall see the classification of acids and bases. We'll stop over here.